Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is that you are watching this. What did you do this week? Did you do something for yourself? How was your week? Anything interesting? We just went to the park this week. It was kind of nice where we're at, so able to go to the park. One of the parks is right on, well, actually, most of the parks are right on the river, but this particular one has an area you can actually walk in to the river, and Bentley decided he wanted to go walk into the river. So, yeah, it was cute and funny, but we're excited. He has a little life jacket, so we're excited for when it gets warm to go floating. So we've gotten a tube where two people it's connected, and then there's an area in the center that he can hang out, and then we can put like a cooler. There's like a cooler area too, so he'll hang out in his little life jacket, and us hang out on the tube or float in the river with a cooler. So we're excited to do that when it gets warm. So, anyways, let's see. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how did Embrace Wellness for the veterinary community come about? What is my expertise? How do I know this stuff? Well, back in January of 2006, my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. At the time, we didn't realize it was stage 4. If we thought about it, we probably would have figured it out. But she had an amazing oncologist who came in, and she had an amazing oncologist who came in and said that her goal was disease-free. My mom's like, great, that's my goal too. And it set the tone for the whole thing, for my mom's whole treatment, right? So she's actually really funny. My mom had a tumor on her lung, a tumor on her lymph node, adrenal gland, and ovary. My mom's like, oh, you have 2 adrenal glands. You don't need 2. You can get rid of 1. We'll just get rid of it, right? So my mom had surgery, got rid of her one of her adrenal glands, and then she ended up having a full hysterectomy. And then she ended up doing 4 rounds of chemo. During her 3rd round, they added 15 rounds of radiation with it as well for the tumor in her lymph node. And my mom went in remission. But during this time, it was like, why not? I wanted to give my mom a massage. Something to kind of like, even my mom forget what she was going through for like even 5 minutes. Because what a lot of people don't realize is when you're going through this, even as my mom's oncologist said, it's 90% mental. The battle is, and you have to have your mindset straight. You know, Sean and I, we always talk with, how animals, they adapt so well with everything going on. Whether, a lot of times they respond well to chemo treatments, if they end up losing a limb, so your tripods do very well. Even a lot of times, even the ones who they give the wheelchairs, or they only, you've seen the videos of the dogs that have like 2, they just have their hind legs and they walk on their hind legs. They adjust. Most of your animal, all your animals adjust. And I always say a lot of that is kind of like the bumblebee theory. Scientists say technically the bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly, but nobody told him that. So kind of same thing with the animals, I feel. They don't know those negative statistics. They don't know that there's a possibility that this won't happen. Now, don't get me wrong. I truly believe animals are smarter than we give them credit for, and probably smarter than a lot of humans. Like, they have that instinct, but for the most part, they don't know statistics, right? So it's easier for them to adapt, or they don't realize, oh my God, what am I going to do without a limb? Like, they just adapt, right? So I feel like that's one of the reasons animals respond so better to challenges than humans do. It's that mentality. And so I say that in a sense, my mom's oncologist set the mentality, and my mom fought, and she was in fight mode. And I just wanted granted, you guys remember this was like 19 years ago, and it's very different back then than it is now with people with cancer. People are a little bit more understanding. It's different walking around without, like, women can walk around bald, and they may still get some snickers, and people talking about them and whispers, but not as much as it used to. People understand cancer more. Back then, people thought cancer was like you could catch it if you touched a doorknob that someone with cancer touched. Like, people were mean. I mean, they're still mean now, but I mean, they were mean with people with cancer back then. They didn't understand. I lost a good bit of my friends because they claimed they were going to be there, but didn't, just because they didn't know how to be there for me, and that's fine. And, now that I'm older, I understand that a little more, but it's one of those things that it's harsh. And so I had called around for my mom to get a massage. Well, a lot of them wouldn't take them because she had cancer. Well, here's the thing. You have to have a certified oncology massage therapist, right? So I came up, and that wasn't that popular back then. And so I then came up with the idea that I want to create a space that cancer patients and their caretakers, they could come and get away from the routine medical surroundings in their everyday life and come where people understand what they are going through. They could feel comfortable enough to take their wig off if they wanted to. And because these people, they've been through they've been through it. The people there, they're going through it, they've been through it, or they've been a caretaker of someone who is going through it or who has been through it. So there's that understanding there. And that's what I wanted to create, that safe space. Not only would it bring them community for people who understood what they were going through, but it brought them, but they could do like massages, they can do healing through art therapy, writing therapy, Reiki, and just be able to be in community, but also in the process working on themselves, working on their subconscious mind, and hopefully that they would respond better to treatment, working on or providing resources for them if the doctor's like, I'm sorry, there's nothing else I could do. So created the space, and it was me and my mom, and we got the 501c3 status. We were looking at places. We actually found this place that the location was good. We lost what would have been the perfect place, but our lost opportunity on what would have been the perfect place. But this other place, the space was like perfect location. We have 2 doctors on the board, they're oncologists and radiologist oncologists. So it was right near where they lived, where they were working. They could, it was easy for them to engage with the people there. And interesting enough, so during this time, not long after we found this place, we were reading through the agreement. And this was like about 2 or 3 months before my mom passed. We were reading through the rental agreement. And I think our real estate person thought we were like crazy because we were reading something completely different than what he was like, no, that's normal. And we're like, no, this doesn't make sense. And during that time, my mom's cancer had come back 8 years later, same spot, completely different type of cancer, but in the tumor exact same spot. But then she also had a tumor on her pelvis. She was getting radiation treatment for that. Because of the location my mom had severe side effects from the radiation. We thought we were going to make it through, but my mom unexpectedly passed. My dad. So, interesting enough, I say all that in a sense that the weekend my mom passed would have been the weekend of the grand opening of the organization. But here's the thing, 2 or 3 years prior to that, I think my mom kind of knew something, but not when. Kind of get this little inkling. My mom had really good instincts and sixth sense. I get a lot of that from her, and then from my great-grandmother on my father's side as well. She, about 3 years prior, we were having a conversation. One of the conversations was, if something happened to me, she's like, it'll be okay because you have Sean. Because my mom knew that Sean would look after me. Because that's all my mom ever wanted, was someone to love me and take care of me and look after me. Though she taught me to take care of myself, I don't mean it like that, but in a relationship, like she wanted me to have a partner, like a 50-50 partnership in life, how her and my dad were. And then my dad also had a really good friend that had helped him, a guy friend that had helped him through some things as well. And so my mom's like, you have Sean, your dad has him. Like, she's like, I'll be okay. And I'm like, no, that's not it. Like, no, like nothing, you can't go anywhere. And then we were sitting chatting one night, and she was talking, and she goes, Brandy, just promise me something. And I was like, what's that? And she said, if something happens to me, just promise me you'll continue to do the spa. Like, you'll continue with it. Because this was mine and my mom's project. It's like, of course, but nothing's going to happen to you. Because you never want to think about that, right? Like, my mom was one of my best friends. She was one of Sean's best friends. Her and Sean got along great. It's funny, I always joke. Their relationship was so funny. Like, he would pop off some smart-ass remark to my mom, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that to my mom. And my mom would pop back with some smart-ass remark to him, and they would just laugh. And I'm like, they had this relationship I've never seen my mom had with somebody before. It was interesting. It was great. I loved it. I love Sean. He's definitely part of the family, and my mom always looked at him as part of the family. My dad had him as part of the family before we were still just best friends, before we even got together. So, my parents loved Sean, my family loved Sean. And so that was huge compliment for Sean. When my mom said that and felt that way. So anyways, I say all this, and so that was one of my mom's last wishes. Of course, when my mom passed unexpectedly, it turned my whole world upside down and shattered it to a million pieces. Because I talk to my mom too, at least once a day, if not twice a day. When she unexpectedly passed, I was getting my bachelor's degree in nonprofit management at the time. It was actually the last day of the semester. And I had to take a semester off from school and to deal with my grief. I say all this because how does this tie in to embrace wellness? Well, a lot of the things through this time, I did a lot of research over the years, ever since this idea came to fruition. The seed was planted. It wasn't a lot back then because it wasn't something that was really popular here in Western medicine. It was more Eastern medicine. And finding research for here in the States was very challenging and difficult, though I knew these things would work. So a lot of research, right? Throughout the years. Then Sean and I met Sean, became a part of the family. I tried the nonprofit again, COVID hit. So it's like, do it virtual, because that became the thing. I can reach more people virtually, right? Help them figure out how they can do this. Well, in the process, that's when it started becoming known that in the veterinary community that you all have the highest suicide rate in the medical field. I love animals. At one point in my life, I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian, but due much respect to you all in the veterinary community, it wasn't something I thought I could handle emotionally. But I'm not saying, like, I admire you all and respect you all and think it's amazing that you can do this. And this is why I support you. I connect better with animals than I do with people. I love animals. I feel like anybody who brings harm to animals, they should have the same or worse done to them. They are amazing creatures that do not get the credit they deserve. I think they're smarter than most, and they're smarter than we give them credit for, smarter than most people, as I said earlier. But I was a CSR in emergency medicine for about a year and a half. So I do understand what you're going through. I have cases that haunt me. I know the cases that haunt Sean. Everybody in this field at some point will have those cases. If you don't, you will. So I know a lot about the veterinary community, not only from being in it, but also being my husband's best friend and being his soundboard and supporting him. So when I found this out, I was like, okay, didn't really think much of it. Sean and I got married September 2018. February 2019, I found out a really good friend of mine who I've known more than half my life lost his battle to PTSD. He was in the military. That hit me hard. The realization of what you go through in your job hit me hard. It hit me hard that my husband was in the field that has the highest suicide rate. Because let me tell you, my friend who lost his battle, someone I would have never thought in a million years would have done that. My husband is someone I would never thought in a million years would do that either. So it hit me hard. I wanted to help. How do you help? NOMV came about. And my husband, not long after that, started to get burned out. COVID hit, and the veterinary community got slammed with COVID. And so he got burned out, along with a lot of other people. Started seeing things on Facebook, like colleagues who had friends who were taking their lives. And I just, I'm like, what can I do to help? So a lot of the things that so I was trying to help Sean, trying to figure out ways that would help him work through his burnout. He ended up taking a sabbatical, and then we started doing the things that I talk about with nonprofit, like the healing through art therapy, healing through writing therapy, meditation, all these different things, because we had to figure out what worked for him, what was helping him. Everybody's different, right? What may work for you might not work for someone else. So we were going through all these different things to find out what was working for him and what worked for him. So he took a sabbatical, and it helped. He still does a lot of those things now to help prevent him from getting burned out, as well as setting boundaries, which is also the most important thing. And so I wanted to help more in the veterinary community because, one, it's broken. Like, the system for the veterinary community is broken. How can we fix that? But the thing is, you all have a lot of support, which is good. At least you have the support while somebody tries to figure out how to fix it. And hopefully it gets fixed soon. But you're already short-staffed, and it's going to take 30 years for it to catch up. So we can't afford to lose. We can't afford for any person, any support staff, veterinarians, to get burned out and leave the field. We can't afford someone to decide that they don't belong on this earth and do something about it. So I figured, why not do this channel, right? So it comes from experience. My husband always looked, sometimes experience is the best thing outside of a certificate. He worked with a guy who had learned a lot from a really famous, good anesthesiologist in veterinary medicine. But he never got certified as an anesthesiologist because he's like, I learned everything from her. He's like, what else can I learn in school other than just getting the certificate? Why waste the money? And I get it. A lot of this stuff, like a bunch of research that I have done, why pay somebody $2,000 or more to get a certificate to say that I know the stuff I already know when I know a lot of the stuff already from doing the research, right? Even Sean, bless him, like, he's really good. Like, critical care, he's really good at that. He has learned a lot from some of the best criticalists in the field. He has also, where he did his internship with one of the co-founders of the emergency critical care program. Again, like, his knowledge, he doesn't have the credentials of a criticalist, but he has the knowledge of the criticalist, if that makes sense. So sometimes, so kind of like me, I don't have a certificate to say, hey, I can help you with your burnout, but I have the knowledge and the experience. And so also, there's a lot out there, even with the veterinary community, that you may not know, resources you may not know that's available to you. A lot of this, too, are things that you're already doing, and you just need the confirmation that, hey, keep doing that. You're doing the right thing to help you prevent and work through your burnout. Like, forget other people who think you're being selfish. No, you don't need them in your life anyway. So I say all that. It's like, that's how this channel came about, from experience, research. And I just want to help. Okay? So hopefully it helps. And just want to, hopefully it helps. All right? Now, information. If you need to talk to someone, not one more vet, NOMV. Just because it has the word vet in it doesn't mean they're just for veterinarians. It's for technician support staff as well. Okay, you can reach out to them. They have Lifeboats. Remember, first time you reach out to Lifeboat, allow 72 hours for someone to reach out for you. They put you in a peer group, and after that is 24 hours. So that's the peer-to-peer support. Then, you have, if you need to talk to someone immediately, 988. You can call or text. Or you can text home to 741 as well. So whatever you need to do to put them in their phone, know that it's there. If you ever need someone to reach out to and talk to, please do that. Okay? All right. So, inspired by an old poem, you may not know that the world needs you, but it does. For no one else can smile your smile, say your piece, shine your light. You are unique, and you alone can fill your place. If you were not here to shine your light, what would happen to the pilgrims passing by your empty place in the darkness without your light to help them on their way? You may not know that the world needs you, but it does. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Remember, what you do matters, and the world is a better place with you in it. Dear person's company. Please, thank you for watching. Bentley thanks you for watching. I will say, the story of Bentley, I meant to tell you the story earlier. So our story with Bentley. So Bentley was born not quite 2 months after my mother passed. At the time that my mom passed, we had a Siberian Husky and a short-haired Chihuahua who loved my mom as well. When my mom passed, not only were they grieving for my mother, but they were grieving because I was grieving, Sean was grieving, and my dad was grieving. And so it was just, they weren't playing or anything. So my first Christmas without my mom, we were at my mom's side of the family, my mom's mom. My cousin had gotten Bentley because she wanted a first doggy. And that Christmas, Bentley and I bonded. Bentley laid on my lap, fell asleep, and we just bonded. I thought it was because dogs pick up on that. He was trying to make me feel better, etc. So I didn't think anything of it, right? I know how animals are. I love them. And a couple of days later, my cousin texted me. They had a senior dog. She's like, senior dog was not having the puppy. So she wanted us to take Bentley. So we took Bentley. And let me tell you, Bentley brought so much joy to our lives. Our dogs started playing again and being dogs. So we always say that my mom sent him to us to save us, including our dogs. So when we say grandma, you see, Perks will say he knows who grandma is. And my mom always had like a gray thing, stripe on her hair before it grew back from her chemo. She had this gray stripe on her head. So he has a little white stripey on his head. So we always say that my mom sent him to save us. So yes, that is Bentley's story with us. Anyways, until next week, go do something for you, okay? Anybody else who says don't want to do it or says you're selfish, forget them, all right? Don't listen to them. Do something for you. Until next week, we'll see ya. Take care.